afternoon and welcome to Just Jocelyn. So glad that you could join me today this afternoon. My guest is Deb Roux, and hello, how are you?
Good,
and
how are you?
She's going to be talking to us about a very exciting event that's coming up on September 14th. So without further ado, because we want to cover a lot of information, tell us, what is this event and why did you create it and what is it all about?
Okay. The Freedom Walk is a walk that I started thinking about a year ago, but I got inspired to do this thing back in 2021 when I saw Kirk Cameron do a 100-day plan on his Facebook page for 20 minutes every night. He'd put a video camera on himself, like his phone on himself, and he'd talk about our founding fathers. And in that talk, he talked a lot about the monument to the forefathers in Plymouth, Mass. And I had never heard about it. So I was intrigued and I just kept listening for the full 100 days. And then a few months later, I found myself taking a biblical citizenship class. And again, Kirk Cameron talked about it for like 30 minutes on that show. So I'm like, I got to get down there. So I believe it was like October 4th of 2021, they had the 400th celebration of the monument to the forefathers. So God is good, and he put me in that place, and I got to see Kirk Cameron. He was there.
Oh, he was there. I was just going to ask you, did you actually get to meet him?
I got to see him, and also his friend at the time, Marshall Foster, who unfortunately passed away. Yep. He wrote the American Covenant, The Untold Story, which I read, and so they spoke at the monument, and something just stirred in me. And I've started since then, every May and October, through the Patriot Hub, which is an organization that I'm affiliated with. It's NewHampshirePatriotHub.org. Every May and October, I schedule a tour with the Jenny. And the Jenny is a tour company in Plymouth, Mass, not far from the monument. And they do tours of the monument, the tours of the town of Plymouth. So I started bringing people there from New Hampshire, and we get about 20 people every May and October to come and take a tour and listen to Leo Martin, who is the owner of the Jenny, along with his wife, Nancy. And Leo dresses up as a pilgrim, and he's got a sense of humor, and he takes you around the monument and tells you all about it. And then we go to their store and we get to look in their shop, and they have a little museum there. And then
I was just going to say, I'm reading here, the Jenny is a historic museum located in Plymouth, Mass, dedicated to conveying the impact of the Pilgrims and their significance on the founding and ongoing development of the United States as a Christian nation.
Yes.
Wow. So you physically take people down there and do the tour twice a year.
Yes. Nice. I organize it, and then Leo does his thing.
Obviously.
Yes. But since then, I've been thinking, I gotta get this monument out to this country somehow. So I got a couple people together, Kristen Jackson, Megan Schmidt, Linda Brown, Al Brandano, and Brenda Town. We've all been kind of working behind the scenes to create the Freedom Walk. So the Freedom Walk, we're walking because our forefathers walked everywhere. Into battle, they didn't care if it was raining, snowing, whatever, they just walked. And they just went into the next battle, and they did it because of the love of God and what they knew God had entrusted them with in coming to this country and creating a free nation for us to practice our religion and also create a civil society, because you can't have a civil society if you don't have a moral background, and that's what they're all about. So we decided this Freedom Walk was going to be like the title of it, and we were going to walk for the pilgrims, but I also wanted to help out the Jenny, because, you know, the times that we're in, there's a lot of people that can't afford to pay for a tour. So I called up Nancy. I'm like, well, what can we help you with? And she said, if you can help provide some money for them to be able to offer tours, or they also do classes and stuff to help educate.
Them with some expenses in education. Yep.
So all the net proceeds are going to go towards them.
Oh, nice. Now, where is this Freedom Walk going to happen?
It's going to be right in our own capital of New Hampshire.
Concord, New Hampshire?
Concord, New Hampshire.
Oh, wow.
The state capital, right on the plaza. We got a permit for the whole plaza. We're going to start setting up around 8, and everybody that signs up for the walk, we're going to ask them to start coming around 9 so we can check them in. I'm going to get those bibs, so everybody's going to have a number on their back, just like a professional walk. And then the walk itself is going to start at 10.
Okay.
And then after that, we're going to have, I'm not sure if you want me to keep going. Through
Well,
the whole thing or if you had other
actually, so
questions.
we start the walk at 10. Are you physically walking around the Capitol?
Yes. Not just the Capitol. We're going to go down North Main Street.
Okay.
And then we're going to take a right and then a right and a right. And we're just going to do
Make
like
a
a
giant square.
45-minute
Okay.
walk around
Oh,
Concord.
nice.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. I think I did a walk a couple years ago, and we did, and we went around the Capitol. I think it was 7 times, and every time we stop
Oh, yes,
and pray.
that was the Jericho walk.
The Jericho walk,
Yes, I did that.
Yes,
I did that.
So that was
so
the
much
last
fun.
time I've done that, and it's
Yeah.
it's really amazing, and people come together. Now, is there a charge to do this walk, or are you looking for donations?
We're looking for adults 18 over to, we'll talk about where to do this
Okay.
momentarily, but we're asking for a $25 donation from every adult
Okay.
that signs up. And
I
then we're
like it.
also going to have, donation box the day of the event. And then also on our registration page, there's a tab for you just to make a donation if you can't make the
You
walk.
can't make it. Okay,
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on that.
Yes, exactly.
So, so the Freedom Walk in Concord, New Hampshire, and starts. You want to be there at 9 if you're going to walk, and then it's
Right.
going to start at 10, and it's going to be entire days long activities, or till 3 or something.
Yes, till 3 o'clock.
okay.
It's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited. We're going to have, I found a fife and drum player to lead us in the walk.
Oh.
His name is David Boss, and his friend Sue Walker. She plays the fife and he plays the drum. I talked to him for quite a while, and he is super excited. He's from Maine, and his friend is in Mass, so they're going to come on over to Concord and
Oh, that'll
lead
be
us.
so
And they
exciting.
come all dressed up. When you get to our website, you can click on their name and find out more about them.
So everything's on the website on this
Yes.
web page.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
So, talk to me. So, where's the website that people can go on to and sign up?
Okay. If you go to the New Hampshire Patriot Hub website, so nhpatriothub.org, right on the homepage, there is a click here button to sign up for the walk.
Okay, nice.
And then you'll get this homepage that has all these little tabs here, so you can find out why we're walking, where to register. We're going to also have lots of raffle items.
Ooh, raffles. Those are
Raffles,
good.
Yes. And you can find out the schedule and the donation if you can't make it. And then we're also doing T-shirts. Kristen
excellent.
Jackson
Okay.
came up with a design, and it's like, they're awesome. They have a nice flag, and it says "Walk like a Pilgrim." The Jenny, and then
clever.
it has the their logo on. No, the logo's on the front, and then the flag's on the back.
Flags on the back. I like
Yes.
that. And so, again, the Jenny is a historic museum down in Plymouth, Mass, that you can take a tour at, and the donations and any money that you raise is going to help them
Yes.
with education.
Yes.
So, talk to me about this national monument, which is to our forefathers, that's down there, that you met Kirk Cameron on.
Do we have like a couple hours?
Well, in a nutshell, because actually,
Yes.
show that book,
I'm gonna
because
show
this
this
is a book that I think people would like to be able to get hold of,
Yes.
because it's called the Forefathers Monument Guidebook, and it talks all about these things. So hopefully we're going to excite you, whet your appetite,
Yes.
so that this would be a great book for if you homeschool, or for history with your family, or just
Absolutely.
because, we need to know the history of our nation.
Exactly. So this monument, it's made out of 5 statues, and let me just get my dates right here. It was in May 23rd, 1855, Hammett Billings was hired by the Pilgrim Society to build this monument. So he had to sketch it out and,
Okay.
raise
Architect
all the
and all that
money
stuff,
and
yeah.
everything. So, and the monument initially was going to be 153 feet tall. He wanted like an observatory up front and also like some shops and stuff in there. But because of the Civil War and everything, he had to reduce it to the 81 feet tall and couldn't do
all the special
observatory and
stuff, yeah.
Yes. An interesting fact, in 1861, President Lincoln donated $10 to the monument.
Really?
Yeah, which would equal $300 in
Today.
2021. Yeah.
Oh, in 2021. All right.
Yes.
Goodness.
And in August of 1859, there was a huge ceremony to lay the cornerstone to the monument. There were speeches, prayers, formal dinner, and close to 3,000 people showed up. So everybody was all about this monument.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of people back then.
Right. And the reason it's so important is because it was the foundation for the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. The monument starts with this beautiful statue of Faith in the middle, and she's pointing to heaven. So our forefathers were very much into the Bible. I didn't realize how much was in the Bible about the economy and
well, that's
how to
why it's the guidebook
government.
for everything.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So they knew all this. They studied it for 12 years in Holland with their pastor, John Roberts. And so they knew all this stuff. So when they came here, that's what they were here to, live out and create. So they create opportunity, not like entitlement.
Right.
Right. So they want everybody to live out their dreams and be the people that God intended them to be for their purpose. So the main monument is faith. Then you have morality, law, education, and liberty. And when you have a moral inward self, then you're able to self-govern yourself. So you don't need a lot of laws and rules and regulations, which the Pilgrims are all about. And you're aligning yourself with God, so you know that our rights come from God. That was another thing that I learned that was huge.
Yes.
I didn't realize that our rights come from God, the laws of nature, nature's God. People can look that
Correct.
up, and that it's so true. And so if God is at the top, then man can't touch those rights. Man
Correct.
doesn't have
Nobody can change them.
Right, right.
Correct.
And now we're living like man tells us what our rights are, not God.
Correct.
And so that's why this monument is so important, because it will point you to what our country is supposed to be, like how it's supposed to run. So once you have that inward change and you align yourself with God, then you have laws, and the laws are biblically based on the Bible. Like you have the laws of nature, and nature's God. So you can look in nature, and nature, they'll defend their young, they'll defend their home, they'll like associate with whatever pack they want. Sometimes you see an animal that's
Right.
with another animal that
it's the laws of nature that apply to the laws of men.
So we have a right to defend ourselves, our homes, but we don't have a right to kill. We don't have a right to steal. So that's what the 10 Commandments are. That's like the law, and the law is just. It's equal for everybody.
Well, that's when you have Lady Justice, and that's why she has
the scale and everything.
Correct.
And that's what's on this monument too. So in the beady eyes of this monument, the law. And that's an interesting thing too about the statue is morality and education are women statues, and law and liberty are male. And the lady statues, they don't have eyes. Their eyes are looking inward. So it's like an inward perspective. So once you go from faith, morality, law, then you go to education. And the family unit is so important. We need to get back to a strong family unit. Because,
well, it's God, family, country.
Right.
Yeah.
And they all have, like, the circles overlap. And it's awesome how they help work with each other. So education is, the family, the parents teaching their kids about the Bible. The ABCs used to be biblically based too, like on characters in the Bible or people in the Bible and stuff.
Well, they actually, all the education came from the Bible. And if you look at testing from those times, school testing, it's all from the Bible. And it's things that we have been lost, that's been wiped out and replaced.
Right, right. So this is all bringing it back to like the basics.
Yep.
So, and it even includes the grandparents, because on either side of these statues, there's smaller statues, and you see a grandfather, with a little boy. So even the grandparents are helping to raise the next generation. And then you get to Liberty Man. He's awesome. He's studly. He's got big muscles. He's got the helmet of salvation, the sword in a sheath. So he's always in defense mode, and that's what our forefathers were. They're in defense mode. And so if they're attacked, they have that right, that godly right to protect
and defend.
And he has the lion over his neck. The chains around his legs are broken. And the best part is he's facing the Atlantic Ocean, watching for the British. And when the monument was built, there were no trees in the area, so it was a panoramic view of the ocean. Now this monument is up on a hill, nestled like 5 minutes from the Plymouth Rock. Everyone goes to Plymouth Rock, but no one goes to this monument.
There.
And there's trees around it. So this woman, this wonderful woman, I'll put this book up again, Michelle Gallagher, she wrote this book, and she is coming to our Freedom Walk.
Oh.
Her and her husband are going to be out there. They're not going to walk. They're going to have their own table. She's going to have this book and also this other book, Monumental Prayers, which is prayers based on the 5 statues of the monument. So she is going to speak after our walk. I'm not exactly sure of the time, depending on how many people sign up, but we're looking for 200 people to sign up because we don't need to close the street if we have 200 or under. So we're going to walk along the sidewalk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2 by 2. And then Michelle is going to speak. She's going to be there to answer questions.
So people, if they come to the walk, would be able to purchase these books.
Yes,
otherwise,
and she's going to sign them too.
Oh, so she'd autograph them. Oh,
Yes.
that's super exciting.
Yes. So I'm very happy to have her.
Well,
and
I'm
I
looking
thank
at
her.
just the pictures you had sent me, and I didn't realize. I think you were on we did a show a while ago, and it was radio though, so it wasn't quite as.
It was Zoom. It was via Zoom.
Right, and so we didn't get to really touch and see quite as much as you can right now.
Right.
So this is really exciting.
Right.
Well, in there, I think it's 1889. You told me was the dedication.
Yes, 1889.
Okay.
Yes.
So what happened on that day? Because I'd really like people to know how people celebrated them.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I found it in her book here. And you can, I don't know if I can show this too, but it was like a little bit of mist that day, it shows. And
Little overcast,
there were 12,000 people that showed up.
How many?
12,000. Yes, nearly double the town's population, it says in here. And they lined the streets, they had a parade, they had dignitaries and guests, local fire divisions, battery teams, mounted police. So they had a nice parade throughout the whole town, and then they had people that came to speak. And afterwards, at dusk, the monument was illuminated by an enormous focus light as fireworks lit the night sky. I'm like, oh my gosh. And
We
then
don't think of things like that, do we?
I know. And then the day ended with a gala ball as guests danced late into the evening with music to a 17-piece band. Yeah, it's like everybody was like so excited and so honored to bring like this monument to Plymouth.
So a little bird told me that there might be some dancing at the Freedom Walk.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Am I giving away too much?
No. Because I added that. You'll get all that information on the link. And we're also going to have a food truck there.
Okay.
Stock Brewing Company is going to have their food truck. So we're hoping that after everybody walks, they get something to eat for lunch. And we're asking everyone to bring their own chairs or blankets so they can sit and listen to Michelle speak and have their lunch. And then around 1 o'clock or so, we're going to announce all of the raffle winners. And we have about 5 or 6 raffle items right now, and still more coming in.
I'm sure it's going to grow.
Yes, still more are coming in. And then we're going to mark a place on the plaza, yes. And we're going to do a dance party to Patriot music. Linda Brown has the best playlist for Patriot music, and she's going to just play the best music so we can just kind of dance around and just create an awareness of what we're doing. And I also created business cards to hand out to people. So if they have any questions like, what do you guys do? And we can hand out those business cards. And
I like that. And I think it's very important that people, they're also going to find out about the National Monument. As you said, people go to Plymouth Rock, but they don't go 5 minutes and go see this.
Right, exactly.
And it's absolutely integral in our history and what really happened. And it's sort of been whitewashed, it seems to me.
Right, exactly. I agree 100%. Because now people are just, and when God sent Jesus, he sent him to, to save us from our sins and to provide easy access to God. Like Jesus says, love me, love God, love your neighbor. It's simple. And that's what our forefathers did too. It's simple. It's like when you have this biblical worldview and you just want to do the right thing. You don't want to hurt your neighbor. You don't want to, create a ruckus or steal anything or kill anybody. You want to live a productive life, and you have your own businesses, and you're creating. So
the true American dream,
right? Exactly,
not a version that the government and everybody else is.
Right, and even if you don't believe in God. You live in America, you're not forced to,
well,
practice
it was
a certain
supposed to be that all faiths were welcome.
Exactly.
The changes that your religion, which is different from faith,
Right.
was not, separation of church and state. Well,
Right.
actually, no, that's not actually what it says. So, it's about faith, and that it was that you could have your own faith, your own religion, but you could not force anybody else to.
Right.
And you certainly couldn't put it on the government, because the government is biblically based. It's based on the Bible, and it was based on Christianity. And the reason was they didn't want Catholicism, they didn't want Buddhism, they didn't want whatever other religions from other countries. It was based on Presbyterian, Protestant. Thank you. I knew it was a P. Protestant. I do make mistakes. Protestant. But everybody was still allowed to have their own religion, but it wasn't to be forced on the masses. And the government and everything was based on the Bible.
Right, and the church doesn't, to have the church be in your schools, in your workplace, in your homes, in your communities, we need that biblical ground, that biblical
framework.
So that it stays alive, that, everyone is the self-governing principles, and, you go by the 10 Commandments and stuff. It's just the natural thing to do, but government doesn't have a right to tell you
to interfere and tell us. Exactly.
That's what they were getting away from.
Right.
It's more freedom. Like Jesus freed us, because we're not bound by slavery. We don't have those chains on us anymore. He takes the yoke and lets us be free. That's what our forefathers did. They took, the oppression of the government that they were under away. They just took it away.
Yep.
And not at a easy cost. They sacrificed their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. That those three things. They knew when they were signing the Declaration and the Constitution that their lives and their families were gonna suffer. But they were thinking about the next generation. That's like a politician thinks about the next election, but a patriot thinks about the next generation. And they did. They lost their lives, they lost their fortunes and their sacred honor, for us. And it's up to each one of us. We got to get out and vote. We also have to do something else, whether it be, go to your school board meetings, your town meetings, volunteer at the polls, just speak up when you see someone not.
Well, exactly. When something's wrong, we need to speak up instead of looking the other way.
Exactly.
And not wanting to offend anybody. We need to get back to the original principles and of treating each other properly, and that it's we the people are at the top. Well, it's actually God, but then it's we the people are at the top, and we give our legislators their walking papers.
Exactly.
And they're not supposed to be telling us what's good for us. We tell them what we need done. They're supposed to have it happen. And we're just seeing everything flipped upside down. So making this freedom walk so much more important.
Right, exactly.
So it's going to be at the New Hampshire State House on 107 North Main Street, Concord, New Hampshire. So any of you that are coming from other states, because we want to share this show, share it everywhere.
Share it everywhere.
Exactly. You can go to, what was the website again?
You can go to the NewHampshirePatriotHub.org website and click on this link right here, and it will bring you to our homepage. And
and then you have all those tabs.
Oh, God bless you.
Excuse me. I printed this, it's making me sneeze.
So if you click on the day's schedule, you'll get the information on where to buy these books. You click on, I believe I have
merchandise
this title highlighted, and you just click on there and you can get the books.
I like that. So I like the tabs. So everything you need to know, it's very well laid out. And it's actually got the picture of the monument in Plymouth there.
Yes.
So you can totally remember.
One other quick thing I'd like to add.
Absolutely.
If you click on the merchandise tab here, you'll be able to, like I said, get the T-shirts, but you'll also be able to buy tickets to our next tour of the monument.
That's very important.
Which is,
so is that October?
Yes, October 12th.
October 12th. Okay.
Yeah, we all meet at the Forefathers Monument in Plymouth, and we meet there at 10:15, and then Leo will come dressed as a pilgrim, and he'll meet us there, and then he'll give us the tour around it, and then we do a walking tour, which is about an hour and a half tour of Plymouth, which is amazing too. And then we all go out to lunch, anyone who can make it. And we're usually done around 3 or 4 o'clock. So
that sounds like
a very fun
I
day.
didn't know that was actually available.
Yes.
For the walk, should people dress patriotically?
Yes, please,
what would you, if you have costumes, wear costumes?
Yeah, red, white, and blue. Or they can buy our T-shirts and wear the T-shirts.
Yeah, you can wear the T-shirts as well.
Yeah.
I love this. Well, if you'd like to read this. As we close out, I think that's really important.
Okay, sure.
Let everybody know.
At a moment when we should be reminding our children of the many mercies experienced by this highly imperfect but God-blessed nation, the trend is a rejection of patriot gratitude in favor of cultural self-loathing, the revision of American history, and the desecration of our monuments, flag, and anthem. The answer to combat this anti-American push is education. And that immersive educational experience is what the Jenny offers. All net proceeds will go toward paying for tours so that Jenny can spread knowledge and inspiration to save this country to more people than ever before.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really do love that. And, in a time where everything is about patriotism, putting our nation first and putting our citizens first. This is what we need to be focusing on, and I think this is a great first step.
Right, exactly. And that's, again, our forefathers. They were about everybody. All people. We're a united states, we're a united nation where everybody has the same access to the same rights.
Exactly, which again, enumerated by God.
Right, exactly.
And they never change. Man can't change them. Government can't change them. And the Constitution came after that.
Right, exactly.
And again, that's a social compact. So again, it's they should be coming to we the people, and we are the ones that make those decisions. So make this decision. You're going to come to the Freedom Walk on September 14th. Sign up on NewHampshirePatriotHub.org. I'll get it. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Oh, awesome. And I think we got a lot of information out there.
Yes.
And everybody goes on there, signs up, and we'll see everybody on September 14th. Thank you for joining us.